Hey, welcome back for another Cooking with Shpeederman. This was actually a request from my buddy Terminal Goat. Smoked cheese. So this is actually kind of an easy one. However, it is very temperature dependent. Currently where I'm at, it's 23 out today. So kind of on the cold side, but still pretty good for smoking cheese. Um, what we got today is we got sharp cheddar, Monterey Jack, Monterey Jack. So my layout is I actually use a pellet grill or pellet smoker most of the time, but with cheese you do not want a lot of heat. 90 degrees Fahrenheit tends to be kind of a critical temperature where you're going to have goo piles versus smoked cheese. So I like to wait till it gets colder. 60 degrees at night. If you can get 60 degrees during the day, you can do it. You can do it in the summer too, but there's some layouts that you have to do where I'm using a smoke tube and a smoke maze tray, so I actually going to light the wood pellets from here. Same thing on the end of the smoke tube, get them to smolder, and then I'm going to close the lid. I'm actually using my grill today. But in the summertime when it's hot, you can actually take these and shove them to the side and get a block of ice on this side or around it to cool the smoke down. So that way you don't melt your cheese down. Again, you want to watch it. 90 degrees, you're going to have puddles. So I've got a torch going here, or had, and I'm going to get this cheese lit, maybe. And let's see. There we go. So these guys, just fill them up. You need these to burn for a bit, just that way you get some good coals in here, because this is wood. If you snuff it out too fast, you're just not going to have enough good hot coal to smolder the rest of it. This actually, I think a full tray of pellets in this maze will go for 6 to 8 hours, depending how tight you fill it. And the other thing that I found with these pellet mazes, pellet tubes, that it's like it's a typical wood fire. You gotta have enough ventilation and enough oxygen getting to it so it does burn or continue to smolder and not snuff itself out. It took me a while to figure out with this maze specifically to make sure it has enough ventilation. This grill does not seal tight, so it does get air, but you can't have it real close to the edge. Let that go. So this tube is pretty full. I like these tubes. This one actually extends out, so you can double the size of this and fill it. But for all the smoking I've done, I've never had to completely fill it. And the blend of wood I'm using is a competition hardwood blend. So maple, oak. I think there's some hickory, some mesquite in here. It's a good blend. I actually use this pellet for all my base smoking. So in my pellet smoker, this is what's in the hopper all the time. And if I want a different flavor on the smoke, I'll take and actually put like pecan pellets or cherry pellets in this tube and use that for more of the supplemental smoke. And I've been having really good luck with them. I like the pellet smoker, just makes it so much easier. Some people are like, no, pellet smokers are like easy bake ovens. And all I got to say is, you do you, and what you like and what works best for you, enjoy it. Tell it what everyone else says, All right, so this is these are cooking for a little bit, and as you can see, they're starting to ashen up. Get some good coals in there, and we're getting the smoke. Ideally, we're going to let this run with the way this cheese is set up. I'm going to check it in probably about a couple hours. I will spot check this in like 10-15 minutes to make sure that the pellets did not completely snuff out. And there is a thermometer on the front of this lid, so it kind of gives me an idea of what temperature we're getting at. And if you're smoking too cold and this doesn't warm up enough, you can get the smoke to stick to it. It may not penetrate as well as if you can get it to warm up a little bit, but this usually works pretty good. Alright, these got a good burn already, so I'm going to snuff this out. And that's the smoke. So we're going to close this lid, make sure I don't hit my cheese. See the smoke coming out of it? Yes, sirree, Bob. Okay, we will check this back in a bit. All right, we're a couple hours in. Let's take a peek. Smoke is still going. Yeah, that back one, this is a little difficult, but it's starting to get a little bit of color. I'm gonna actually flip these around now, just to kind of get them kind of evened out. Now I'm gonna let that go to the duration. I'm gonna try to get these to burn right out completely. So it should be a few more hours. Then we'll take a look when they're done. All right, we've actually been out here for 4 hours, and we're pretty much at the end of the wood here. And I don't know if you can see it, but now we got a nice yellow color to it. So we're gonna rotate these one more time, and actually I'm gonna move the cheddar in the back and I'm put the other cheese kind of in the front, just to help kind of even it out a little bit. And we're gonna let this try to finish up here, one last little bit of smoke. Then all we do from this point is I'll bag each one of these. Oops, let's not lose that smoke. Seal it up tight, throw it in the refrigerator. With cheese and fresh smoke, it needs to mellow out 3 to 4 weeks, honestly. If you try to eat it now, you can, but it's going to be bitter because of the smoke. So it needs time for that bitterness to come out and you actually get the smoke flavor. So let me tuck this back in, and then we'll give a shot at what the final thing looks like. All right, here we go. So this is actually about 5-6 hours. Still reasonably cold out. They got some good color. And that's really about as far as it's going to go. That's about as much left as there. We're at the end of this, so I'm just going to pull this. And I'm going to mark them, put them in a Ziploc bag, put a date on them, and again I'm going to mark the date for 4 to 6 weeks out, just for the sake of letting that smoke mellow out. You can do other cheeses. By any means, go ahead, give it a whack, try what your favorite things, and just kind of keep an eye on if it's a softer cheese. You need to watch the temperature, because it will have a tendency to melt it much quicker, because this isn't throwing a lot of heat, but it is throwing enough where it'll warm your smoke chamber up, whatever you're using, your grill or a smoker, to cause that cheese to soften. If it starts to sweat, you're getting close to a meltdown. Well, give it a whack, see what you think, and let me know in the comments below. If there's something else you want prepared, give me a shout. Thank you much.